The Canadian banking system is set to be radicalized by the open banking framework. Proponents are framing this as a way for banks to easily share information and access user data. The truth of the matter is that this is an opportunity to merge social standings with banking to provide government complete control over our finances. The organization Open Banking Excellence, a World Bank partner that originated in the UK, claims that it will host all the bank's relevant needs in one place. The organization, which has reached 40 countries, aims to create exceptional platforms and content that promotes knowledge sharing, new thinking, and partnerships within the industry, catalyzing the adoption of open finance and data for better financial inclusion worldwide. It's all about having that fairer, more inclusive, more open society, said Helen Child, founder of Open Banking Excellence. Open society. Well, that does sound familiar. Why is there a need for inclusivity and fairness in banking when it should come down to numbers? It drives financial inclusion, she added. It's a democratizing data. Data. That will be worth more than gold as we move forward with a cashless society. There's no easier way to control the masses than to control their access to money, their ability to buy, trade, and freely move about. The Canadian press outlined the true motive in plain sight. One of the biggest areas of growth is in credit assessments. Under open banking, lenders would directly access an individual's banking data, so they can look beyond credit scores. Consumers can also use it to build their credit scores, for example, by providing reliable rent payments, or complying with government mandates that are violations of our rights. Looking beyond credit scores equates to determining if a person is fit to participate in the global economy based upon their personal views. Consider the over 200 Canadians who had their bank accounts frozen for donating to the Freedom Convoy. Or the case of Jeremy Mackenzie, the raging dissident, who was painted by the media as the founder of the domestic terrorist organization Diagolon. In case you were unaware, Diagolon was a joke. Jeremy literally finger-painted the flag himself. He has since been debanked and won't be able to renew his mortgage this year. You can see my latest interview with Jeremy at ironwillreport.com. This is a widespread phenomenon. We saw it happening commonly during COVID lockdowns, where users were not permitted to access places without proof of COVID vaccination. In China, when banks were facing a liquidity crisis, the CCP simply denied depositors the right to access their money and blocked them from physically accessing their banks. The government successfully prevented a bank run. Canada is one of many nations hoping to use unofficial social scores to control the masses. All of these actions are setting the stage for how CBDCs will operate, a collective network containing everyone's personal data and accounts. The push for digital ID continues, with the president of the World Bank becoming its biggest cheerleader. Ajay Banga urged world leaders to make the transition at the bank's inaugural Global Digital Summit. He said all countries should embrace digital ID and give access to private enterprises. While the Bank of Canada has claimed that CBDCs are nothing more than a digital version of the national currency, a recent central bank poll of nearly 90,000 Canadians found that 85% of respondents would not use the digital dollar if it became available. Only 12% said they would potentially use it, and the other 3% said they didn't know. Young Canadians, aged 18 to 34, generally view digital ID positively, with nearly half, 49%, endorsing the idea. However, many older and low-income people still rely on cash transactions. The important takeaway from this story is that Canadian banks are moving to implement social credit scores, and they're going to try to be sneaky about it, calling it an unofficial social score and using terms like financial inclusion and democratizing data. Its real purpose, of course, is control.